and led out by the milestone man, Paul Vaughan. Game number 200 in the NRL for him today. Debuted as a Raider way back in 2013, but this guy is just flying, Brandy.
He has 8 tries in his last 6 matches, a couple of hat-tricks, one of those last week in their big win against the Gold Coast Titans. You know, the Foxes, he's a great winner. There's no two ways about it. He's a great finisher. We saw the anticipation from his own trial line where he took an intercept and ran 100 metres last week against the Titans. But I think his enthusiasm is rubbing off on the rest of these Bulldogs players. And now that they've got a couple of wins up there under their belt, well, they're looking a dangerous outfit. Burton and Addo-Carr have been a great combination down on this left, and I like their centres. Braden Burns hasn't played much footy this year, but back in the lineup.
And here comes the home team. Through a guard of honour, including the NRLW team for the Newcastle Knights in Harvey Norman Women in League round. And there is Clifford with the number 20 on his back. A late in today for Adam Clune.
Yeah, Bretton, he's only played 2 games in the past 10 for Newcastle. He's played a bit of New South Wales Cup. He's had COVID, so recently had COVID, which has kept him out of the side. I like Jake Clifford as a player, but he's had some problems this year. I thought the signing from the Cowboys late last year was a good one. We just haven't seen the best of him. Very good runner of the footy. I hope we see that today. The Knights will need him. With no Kalen Ponga, they'll need a focal point of their attack, and they'd be counting on Clifford to do the job.
It doesn't matter where the Knights are on the ladder. Always a great turnout here in Newcastle. The place is buzzing. And we're underway on the Sunday ticket. First game in our double-header today on Fox League. And Clifford gets into dummy half early on, linking up with Tuala, who's got a new partner out there on the left edge today. Simi Sasangi coming into the lineup. And there's Barnett. Brayley, the dummy half. 4th game back for him from a long-term injury. Physical defence led by Flanagan. And the kick comes from Clifford. And Avarillo back after missing out last week due to COVID protocols. Able to get the Bulldogs off to a flying start and win the field position battle early.
Yeah, not the kick he was looking for there. He just popped that one up in the air. It didn't go as deep as he wanted it.
Marshall King in superb form and slices them up early on. The support was nowhere to be seen though, as Tex Hoy makes a good tackle in cover. Flanagan inside the 20. The Knights already opened up in front of their home fans. The milestone man now, Vaughan, chopped down. And he'll play it on the last for Marshall King to go left to Burton. Keeps it in the hands, almost forward. That is the call. Addo-Carr was going over untouched, but the link-up man, Josh Jackson, couldn't quite execute.
Yeah, did he expect the ball to come straight from Burton? Here's Jeremy Marshall King out of dummy half. His running game over the past month and a half has been outstanding. And then they go to the left through Burton. Out the back, and Addo-Carr was in an offside position. He was thinking the ball was coming to him straight from Burton and just overplayed it.
Almost deliberately forward from Jackson, and knew he had to get it to his winger. He was standing a metre in front of him as we check in with Jake Duke on the sideline.
Yeah, good afternoon, gentlemen. What an afternoon it is here in the Hunter, and what a crowd, expecting close to 20,000 fans, despite where these two teams sit on the ladder. Conditions are nice, 18 degrees, but there is a slight breeze behind the Knights here in this first half. And of the last 4 of the 5 games that these two sides have faced, they've been decided by 10 points or less, so maybe a tight one today, but the Bulldogs looking pretty flash early.
Addo-Carr under pressure. That's a better finish to the set from the home team.
As we heard from Jake, just a slight breeze favouring the Newcastle Knights in this first half, so the kicking needs to be good. The Dogs bombed 2 chances in that set. There was no support for Jeremy Marshall King when he broke them open from dummy half, and then at the end of the set, Addo-Carr offside in a try-scoring chance.
Yeah, Jackson wearing the 13 on his back, but playing as the left edge back rower. And you don't often see him out there in recent times. Pressure now on Burton's kick from well inside the 40. It's got some hang time. Plenty of fans have come to watch him execute those left foot torpedoes today. Matt Burton and Hoy able to regather and claims for an obstruction. What were they thinking there? He ran right behind Milford and left the referee, Chris Butler, with no choice.
What's that? Well, he can't use the method of obstruction. They can't be disadvantaged by it.
Yeah, just fumbled the ball backwards, but then spotted an opening, and you did wonder how it opened so quickly. Milford trying to get back onside behind Tex Hoy, but didn't quite make it, and that's the direction that Tex Hoy headed.
It's a better angle to see how Jackson was clearly impeded by Milford. Flanagan. Avarillo chimes in, and this time Shop is the man receiving inside of Addo-Carr. Looking sprightly in attack again, the Dogs. Gifted this opportunity by the penalty. Given up by Tex Hoy. Flat service for Pangai Jr., who played all of his junior rugby league in Newcastle. Burton. Shot with the crash ball, and there's no way through. This right side on the Knights' defence is being tested big time here. Burton to go crossfield. And a real test for Carraz. In fact, he's straight out of play, so not the kick that Burton was after.
Now, straight across field, wasn't it, from Matt Burton, looking to land it closer to the try line and just didn't get the weight of it right. Pulled it right across the field, barely touched it. See how big a boot he's got.
Plenty of X factor, Jacob Carraz, but he couldn't do anything with that one. Strong defence. And the call of held, stopping Tuala getting back slammed potentially. There's Clemmer, right up there in the run meters. 165 of them last week in less than 50 minutes of game time against the Roosters in a well-beaten team. Newcastle conceding 40 points or more in the last 3 games, and there'll be more pressure here as Shop just deals with Gagai.
He loves to be physical, Aaron Shop, and we've seen that right throughout this season. Very powerful young man, and it's a battle with Gagai, who himself is hard to put down. One of the toughest players to tackle in the competition, but Shop, very powerful, just throws him across the sideline. It's going to be interesting watching these two go head-to-head this afternoon.
Taking on an Origin player. Great chance to test yourself for the 21-year-old Bulldogs centre. Pangai Jr., who came off the bench last week, and then things ignited against Tino Fa'asuamaleaui at CommBank Stadium. Almost a forward pass out of dummy half, but given the all clear by the touchy on the far side, as Burns is taken down, 25 out. Here's Vaughan again. 19th game as a Bulldog, 85 for Canberra, 96 as a Dragon, adding up to those 200. And Flanagan elected to hold on, and there was no way through there. 3 involved in the tackle on the number 7. So he's out of play on the last. And Marshall King goes short side. What about the pass from Braden Burns? And Carraz had enough room to work his magic, and the Bulldogs now have their first try.
And the Newcastle Knights pay a big price, not being able to get the ball out of their own end. Gagai thrown into touch. They gave away a penalty on a kick return. And Braden Burns, what a magic ball that was. Out to Jacob Carraz. They looked like they were coming open. Jeremy Marshall-King quickly changes tack, comes down the short side, and Burns pulls off a miracle pass out to Jacob Carraz to open up the scoring this afternoon.
He's got 4 tries now in 10 games, Carraz, and he can put that one down to Braden Burns as Sasangi was jamming in off that wing. and left Carraz unmarked and paid the price in the end.
It was tough for Burns too, because it wasn't a pass that he could just tip on. He had to actually catch it and then flick it out, which takes time. But Burns did it in the blink of an eye. Very skillful from Braden Burns. It's only his 9th game this year. Let's just have a look at the Braden Burns pass. Catches it and then flicks it. That's great stuff. And Carraz has been a find himself too, hasn't he? Jacob Carraz, great debut against the Broncos up at Suncorp Stadium, and just playing too good to leave out of the side. And Burns has struggled with injury and a bit of form, but there's no doubt there's a class player in Braden Burns.
Yeah, he's been around a long time since debuting as a Rabbitoh, and he'll get to 50 games finally next week at the age of 26, Braden Burns. So a tough first up conversion attempt for Matt Burton, who's taken it back 25 metres to open up the angle. And you can ride it home on Fox League. And hooking a little too much, the breeze, a bit of a factor on that one, Jakey.
Yeah, just misses there, Matt Burton. But what about the form of Marshall King, guys? We saw him make that break earlier in this game, and then he spots that short side play. He's having the best season of his career. He started all 18 games for the Dogs this season at dummy half, averaging 60 metres out of dummy half. He's really developed his running game, try assist, tries. He's done a lot this year, and he's a big signing for the Dolphins next year, a big loss for the Dogs.
Yeah, just about every game on Fox League, there'll be Dolphins fans getting ready for next year, watching their future players involved. Milford on one side here, Marshall King on the other. A couple of Dolphins for the 2023 inaugural season. And Vaughan will be playing in the Super League with Warrington. There is Marshall King. To the other King, Max that is. Pangai Jr. putting some footwork on and almost slipping through the tackle of Saifidi. He's the offload king, isn't he? Pangai Jr. against the odds, able to get some second phase footy going.
It has been a huge part of their play over the last 6 weeks, just keeping the ball alive. And that's the freedom that you're talking about with the Dogs and why they're attacking better.
And he's a clear outright leader. Pangai Jr. 42nd of the season in the offloads category. Burton to give it real elevation. Adokar there in plenty of time against Young. Knocked it back for Jackson. Can he get it away? He can for the Fox on kicking duty. The Fox. Oh, he's put it on a dime from winger to winger. He can do it all, the Fox. He's picked up Carraz for one of the tries of the year.
What an incredible try. The double kick. The second one from Josh Adokar. I'm sure we've seen him do that this season. Adokar kick across the field to his winger on the opposite side of the field. Burton throws one up in the air. The breeze is favouring Newcastle. Just holds it up, blows it backwards. Picked up there by Jackson. Does a great job to offload to Adokar. Then Adokar might have looked awkward, but it landed exactly where he wanted it to. And Jacob Carraz on the other side of the field comes up with the Doggies' second try, and what a spectacular one it was. Great take. Fantastic stuff there from the Dogs.
2 for the number 2. But look at this, Jackson. He had 2 or 3 teammates closer to him than the Fox. Adokar didn't give up. A few other teammates gave up, but he knew Jackson might be able to get an offload away. And then the vision and awareness to think, I can just get it on the other side of Sasangi and Carraz will do the rest.
Yeah, still had to do plenty of work, didn't he, Jacob Carraz? Even though the ball landed in his lap, Sasangi was there. And Carraz did brilliantly to hold on to that, control it and get it over the line. What a start from the Bulldogs. The Knights find themselves in a familiar position here at Energy Australia Stadium. That's standing, watching the opposition player kick for goal. We had some big losses here in front of the, they're faithful, these Newcastle fans.
And Burton from a bit closer in this time makes the necessary adjustment, and the Bulldogs lead at 10-0 after 12 minutes.
Yeah, Josh Adokar, he's one of the great try scorers in the NRL. He's coming off the back of a 3-try, 300-metre performance last week against the Titans, but we don't see him lay on many tries, but he finds a great kick here for young Jacob Kiraz. And Jacob Kiraz has spoken about Josh Adokar and the influence he's had on his young career this year. He said he's helped him learn how to be a good defensive winger and also how to involve himself in a game. But I don't think he expected Josh Adokar to be kicking to him for a try, but that's what we've got here to start this game.
And earlier in the week, Kiraz thought he was going to be going head-to-head with Edric Lee, who scored 5 tries at this venue not long ago against the Titans. And the way he's going, he might be able to score and leave with a handful today. Jacob Kiraz. Can Newcastle find a spark here? Trying to do it defensively. And they've made a decent start defensively to this set. Pangai Jr. working hard to prevent that offload is Saifidi. Vaughan ball playing this time, and King ran into a solid hit. Nice work, Tyson Frizzell. Burton from inside the 40, a really tight angle. Hoy was pretty confident, didn't get desperate at any stage. About the 40-20 and brings it back to just outside his own 10.
Well, they scored the last time they returned a kickoff set. This time they drive it down to the try line. It's a great reply off the back of points from the Bulldogs there. And Matt Burton just shows the boot that he's got, effortlessly putting that one 60 metres into the wind.
There's Young coming looking for work. Just 1 week on the sidelines and able to pass his fitness test in the lead up to this one. Clifford, little cut-out ball, and Sasangi moving it on to Tuala, who's playing on that wing. In the reshuffle after playing as the left centre in recent times. And now Milford to hang it up towards Young against Adokar, and that went forwards to Frizzell.
Knock on from Dominic.
He just couldn't get that arm
10 by 10, please.
in front of the ball enough to knock it backwards there, Dom Young, but that's the target. Huge height advantage over Adokar. And if they can get it close to the try line, it'll be hard to defend.
Shop running into the big boys and taken down by Saifidi. Made his fair share of tackles already, as Daniel with twin brother Jacob coming off the bench later. Oh, Milford came looking for Vaughan and he only saw him at the last second. The little man taking on the big man, and they're talking about it after that one.
Milford out of the line, just shirt fronts Paul Vaughan there. Deep pass to Burton.
Oh, look at that spiral. It takes your breath away, and it's bamboozled Young. And the bounce was kind to Hoy in the end, but it's just exhibition stuff from Burton.
Well, it is. He could not have hit that any better. The spiral on it was perfect. Dom Young had no idea where it was going to bounce, and then lost it when it did bounce. You're right. It favoured Tex Hoy because it could have just, look, he's going down the other way. If that gets over the hands of Hoy, well, Josh Adokar is there to strike. What a weapon.
You could put up a car, you could put up a house with confidence and say, come and try and catch one of Matt Burton's bombs to win a car or a house, and you'd go home empty-handed. It is quite extraordinary what he can do with those spiral torpedo bombs. Now Milford trying to answer. It's got a bit of wobble about it. Oh, and Avarillo coughs it up and just kept it away from Clemmer, who was sniffing out a gift four-pointer.
Had last week off, returns to the fullback position where he's been for the 6 weeks previous. Milford strikes it all right, but Averillo got himself under the ball. It was there to be taken straight through the arms. And the Knights get their first chance. First attacking set down this end, really. 17 minutes into the game. First real test for the Bulldogs defence.
Bulldogs have asked for a stoppage, HIA.
Yeah, it's Shop. I mentioned a moment ago that he went in amongst the big props for Newcastle. That might have been when he copped this knock. Early signs don't look that great.
Good.
There he goes, past it, has he? The on-field examination.
Jackson around Joshy.
After this,
Oh,
a friendly fire.
Yeah, just copped the hip of Jackson as he came in to make that tackle on Boyd.
Outside, Kyle.
Centre field for the Knights.
And they hold it in. They've got them offside, so a free play here if they can bust them. It's just a set restart, so the Dogs happy to do that. Clemmer, former Dog. Lovely offload, and now Milford looking to capitalise. Frizzell back against the grain. He's trying to get the arm free as well. So first tackles inside the Bulldogs 20 here for the home team, and Brayley wasn't too far away. Clemmer into acting dummy half. Decent service for Hoy, and now Sasangi running out of room. He did well to stay in the end. Chance to shift it, and Clemmer tries to run right over the top of Marshall King. And he got support from a couple of big boys. Barnett at first receiver. Clifford for Frizzell. Burton holding him up, and almost for Milford. Off the short ball, but Frizzell couldn't get the arms free. Oh, Clifford took his eyes off it. The pass wasn't the best, and they come up empty-handed.
Yeah, first chance for Newcastle to keep the pressure on the Dogs. Grab a repeat set. Jake Clifford. The pass was okay. It was a bit low, but should have taken it, Clifford. Disappointing finish to the set.
A tough watch so far for Adam O'Brien. 65th game in charge, 28 wins so far. He's got a 3-1 record against the Dogs. Fighting for his job, according to Corey Parker back in the studio at the back end of this season. Peter Parr arrives on Tuesday as the new director of football at the Knights. Marshall King just making it easy meters.
Yeah, that is easy. Far too easy. Dogs out of trouble. 4 plays well inside Dogs territory.
Adokar wanted a kick from Burton there. Now Shop. He got rid of Frizzell. Oh, talk about inspired Aaron Shop. Some of the stuff he's done already. And now Flanagan trying to throw a dummy to open them up in the middle, and there was a man tackled on suspicion. The referee saw it. Vaughan taken out by Clifford.
The offloads from the Bulldogs just keeping the pressure on Newcastle's defence. Well, Vaughan was just hit back. No real damage done. It's taken out. It was an option to pass to Vaughan.
Stayed down for a long time to make sure everyone saw it. And there's Pangai Jr. head-to-head with Clemmer. Was he square at marker? No, he wasn't. Set restart for Clemmer's work. Vaughan ready to set things up. And the offload for Flanagan. Pangai Jr. trying to hit and spin and get the arms free. Early in the count, he held on. Now Shot. And Barnett did well to prevent a pass that might have been a killer ball. Pangai Jr. has been busy in the opening exchanges.
Yep, enough defence for Newcastle down that short side.
Flanagan. Oh, classy. Made it tough on King, though. And he couldn't hold on. It was worth a shot.
Shot clock's on. Ready.
Well, that's 7 offloads for the game as Flanagan splits the Newcastle defenders there and pops one out to King. Can't handle it. But they look likely, don't they? The Bulldogs with their offloads and their breaking Newcastle tackles.
Stay down, stay on. Ball in. Break. Okay, off the ball, Jacob.
Both teams with that 5-13 record heading into this one, but the Bulldogs have been rising up the ladder as far as they can go in recent times. Started today in 12th, the Knights back in 14th. For and against splitting them. Saifidi. There's another offload for the Knights. So both front rowers, Clemmer and Saifidi, getting some offloads away in the last couple of sets. Clifford. Sasungi. Nice work to get Tuala on the outside, but how quickly did Carraz get back in position to make the tackle? Now Clifford. Into Frizzell's channel against Burton. He was careful not to tackle him in midair, and they've got them under pressure here, working it off their own line. Oh, Addo-Carr! And the penalty is being given to the Dogs just as Josh Addo-Carr was ready for another 90-metre effort.
So you had to play the advantage, didn't you? Like, you had to just wait and see. They might have been offside, but he blew it late. Once Addo-Carr threatened these defenders here, he had to let play go on. You don't blow the whistle now.
Josh.
He was away. Advantage. Well, whether it was an Addo-Carr run or a penalty, the Dogs get themselves out of their own end with ease, and we'll be back in Knights territory pretty shortly.
If you're in Bundaberg, you get your tickets early because the Bulldogs and Addo-Carr travelling show is headed there next week against the Cowboys. And that'll sell out before you know it, if it hasn't already. Oh, pressure on Avarillo, but he stepped around easily and found the man of the moment, Carraz. Running out of room this time, hunting that hat-trick.
What wasn't that a classy piece of play there from Jake Avarillo? The footwork and then the ball immediately out there to Jacob Carraz.
Moves it on this time to Flanagan, does the fullback, and catch and pass from Burton. Shop will make it work. And can't get it to Addo-Carr on the outside. Vaughan up to the 10-metre line. On the last, the Bulldogs have options. Burton down the short side. They'll go that way again. And in behind, Shop. Was it played at? No. A couple of Knights appeared to be trying to stop that one getting through. And it's a handover.
Yeah, just didn't create the space map, Burton. They read it, they jammed in. Just came off Dom Young's hand, but then...
Time's on.
Milford clearly played at the ball.
Could have easily been 6 again. Brent.
Hard yards on offer here for Gagai. Murray Tuala, number 4 on his back, but playing as the winger today.
What an amazing transformation it's been for the Bulldogs. I'm excited every set that they've got the ball because you think something's going to happen.
Great.
2 months ago, it couldn't have been, it was polar opposite.
Tough first touch for Crossland, set up with a hospital pass by Brayley.
It was Paul Vaughan who came up with the shot, read the play, read the pass, and was there to make the stop on Crossland. Too much pressure, that pass from Brayley.
Now, the first 10 rounds, Brandy, they were averaging less than 10 points per game. Since round 11, Mick Potter at the helm, 25.5 points per game. And their fans are encouraged about what 2023 might look like with so many star signings on their way as well. And seemingly Cameron Ciraldo to take over.
Just seemed like they had too many handcuffs, during the time. And I won't say it was Trent Barrett's coaching, but whatever's happened since Mick Potter's jumped in, the freedom they are playing with is enjoyable to watch.
And a debut. Harry Edwards is on. He's got a big cheer squad here today, so that's the crowd noise you can hear. Stimson on as well, as Potter works his bench and runs a decoy first up. Does Harry Edwards. Nug to his mates. They've got Nug on the shirts up in the corner here at McDonald Jones. Here's his first touch. The young man from up the road at Foster, about 2 hours drive north of here. Flanagan out to Carraz's wing, but the kick did the winger no favours, and it was easy for Tuala.
Yeah, just not high enough there from Kyle Flanagan. Gave Braden Burns no chance, or Carraz, to get underneath and contest the ball.
There he is, the fresh-faced 21-year-old back rower. Played for the Foster Tuncurry Hawks, and there's that allotment of 50 tickets. Yeah, and those shirts were made at late notice to get ready for this one. He's got 40 of his mates on the hill as well, teammates from the Foster Tuncurry Hawks and all that. Here's Crossland. Did some nice things last week, including a try, a rare try against the Roosters. Clifford driving it through the line. Avarillo might have to go into his own in goal. Didn't get the bounce he was after. And here comes Tuala. And a repeat set. And the Knights fans getting involved.
There hasn't been much to cheer about for Newcastle, but that was a smart play. King was well weighted, forced Avarillo to make a play at it. Jake Clifford down the short side. Avarillo looked like he might have been able to sneak down the sideline there, but well stopped from Tuala. They need some points, Newcastle, desperate.
Short dropout. Hang time from Burton again, and the blockers did their job. Bulldogs unable to contest despite the hang time. Strong running, setting them up 5 out.
Jacob Saifidi onto the field
with fresh legs. Milford, cut-out ball for Gagai, and Young against Addo-Carr, back inboard, and it works out very nearly for Newcastle. The set remains alive. Little double pump from Milford. From side to side go the Knights. There's a man over here, and Tuala finishes the job. Complaints from Carraz, but the try will stand, and Newcastle are on the board.
There was a mad scramble in the right corner after Dom Young took on Josh Addo-Carr. He flicked the ball back on the inside. Newcastle were able to clean it up, and then a big shift to the left. A couple of long, wide passes. Crossland's got the ball. Clifford, and then Sasangi out there to Tuala. I think the Dogs players thinking the ball might have been forward. This one, line ball, but they get the decision going their way, and yet they were desperate to come up with points, and that's all off the back of the kick from Jake Clifford. Getting a repeat set, and then handling that short, high dropout from Matt Burton to retain possession.
.30-second try for Tuala. And Sasangi, who prefers to play as a centre, executed okay in the end. Got away with the flat final pass. Tough one for Clifford now to try and narrow the margin to 4.
Well, 10 minutes short of the break, and they really haven't been in the game. And the sets they've put together haven't really threatened the Dogs' defence. They have got the breeze behind them. So 10-6 There's still plenty of time left in this first half, but even a 10-6 half-time scoreline would be a great result for Newcastle.
And they are trying to make it 4 straight wins over the Bulldogs for the first time. Beat them in Magic Round, 16 points to 6. Clifford hooking it a little too far, so it remains 10-4. Big Buddy.
Yeah, they had a lot of injuries this week in their outside backs in Newcastle Knights. Edric Lee had a foot problem. Hymel Hunt had a hip. That moved Sasangi into the centres. You see all the casualties and guys sitting on the sidelines here. And that moved Tuala onto that left wing, and he's filled in multiple positions for the Knights this year, playing both wings, both centres. He's been Mr. Consistent for them over the last couple of years as well. Played all 25 games for the club last year, 20 games before that, and he gets a try for his efforts and being so consistent for this Knights side in a tough couple of years.
Burton just chips one down to the try line. Saifidi winding up again. Jacob Saifidi, who had those amazing first couple of contributions in his Origin debut in the decider up at Suncorp. Frizzell. Jackson lined him up from a long way out, but couldn't stick the tackle. Brayley with the markers not square, including the debutants, but a scamper for about 12 metres on that run. And wanted a set restart when Edwards got involved. Instead, we get to the last for Brayley to find his kicker. Clifford. And Avarillo called it, and that's confidence from the fullback. Told Carraz it was his.
Let's see if the try does anything to the Knights' defensive line here. The Dogs have been able to get out of their own end with ease when they've been down this way, but let's see if the try has done anything to rev up this Newcastle defence.
Addo Carr coming inside that time to accept from Burton. Max King gets a rest. Chris Patolo is on. Edwards to play it just inside his own half on the last. And Burton this time drop punt style down the skinny short side. And asks Hoy to bring it off his try line again. Milford did well to get down low and avoid a potential obstruction again. Brayley still working his way back onside, so Milford had to slot in at dummy half. Not a whole lot happening on this set for Newcastle.
Well, there'd be nothing wrong with not waiting to the fifth to kick it, and Clifford does that. But again, just pops it up in the air. He doesn't strike it how he wanted to.
Avarillo had some running room and complaints that tackle might have been a little high from Sasangi. Touch judge had a good view of it though. Spectacular Sunday afternoon in Newcastle. And this time the kick is on. Addo Carr gets there on the full. Picks up shot. Almost lost his dax, but he scores the try. And Addo Carr has another try assist. How good is this footy to watch?
Well, there's a different way to get out of your own end, and Josh Addo Carr and Matt Burton combine again. Right on halfway, out the back to Burton. He spots that Addo Carr and always holds his width, Addo Carr. Always around the sideline just in case. Always giving the halves an option and a man in the open. And the weight of the kick was perfect. Addo Carr he realised that it was out in front of him. Just accelerated, caught it on the full, drew the fullback, and Shop was able to keep himself just in front of Dane Gagai there to break out of the tackle and score another spectacular try off a kick that the Dogs have scored this afternoon. Boy, Addo Carr providing one for Carraz. Burton now chipping across for Addo Carr. What a treat to watch it.
It is. Two X-Factor players on the same side of the field that have been there at the highest level, representative-wise. The Origin cauldron. Addo Carr not utilised this year by the Blues, and many say that might have cost them the series. And Burton got his opportunity and didn't let anyone down. And what about that kick? There'd be a few wingers who would have thought, I can't get on the full, I'll wait for the bounce. But Addo Carr just turned on the jets and got there on the full.
You could almost see him thinking that, gee, he's put that out a bit too far in front of me, but he just went bang. Just accelerated to make sure he got there on the full.
Easier look at conversion this time, it appears. And Burton adds 2 more. Bulldogs are flying at 16-4 up.
Yeah, during the week, the Melbourne Storm requested a release to acquire Josh Addo Carr for the rest of the season to bring him back for their finals campaign. But the Bulldogs knocked it back because even though it would release some pressure on their salary cap, they wanted him here. They said it's about the excitement he's creating for the fans at the moment after a tough couple of years for the club. And you have to imagine it's also about continuing to build this combination with Matt Burton. They become one of the most exciting duos in the NRL, and they want to be building the back end of this season to start next year off on a better note and get the Bulldogs back into this competition as a heavyweight.
Yeah, combination and cohesion. You hear a lot of coaches talk about those buzzwords, Brandy. How important is it heading into 2023 for the Dogs to have these two stars playing together?
I just couldn't see. He's become synonymous with the Bulldogs already, Josh Addo Carr. How could you take a brand like Josh Addo Carr and remove him, go and put him back where he came from at the Melbourne Storm? That was never going to happen. Wouldn't have worked. And then bring him back home again? No. Very important combinations for next year.
Little touch off the Knights. Yes, the set restarts. Jackson's pass was knocked down.
But again, very easy meters for the Bulldogs, having no trouble getting out of their own end.
Marshall King again. He's just on top of the ground at this stage of the year after a tremendous 2022. Avarillo tried to put some footwork on Clifford, but got rocked. Still had time to get another offload away as that count continues to mount. Burton. Again, Addo Carr was on the move, thinking a kick could have been an option. Flanagan. Oh, Avarillo tried to take it in one-handed.
There's good pressure there from Newcastle, up quickly on Kyle Flanagan, forcing him to pass. Didn't have time to put a kick in, and the pass was too tough to pull in. Had to jump, try and catch it with one hand, pull it down.
There's Torpenay getting involved in the tackle. Another who came off the bench in this first half for the Bulldogs. First time we've seen him this year, 9th appearance overall. After 8 games last year out there in the number 11 jumper. High work rate defensively on this set for the 20-year-old. Edwards trying to contain Frizzell, but he got an offload away, and now Saulo on to Clifford. Oh, nice move from Sasangi. He was nearly away. Desperate work from Burns and Flanagan to drag him down from behind. Milford. And flicked out a hopeful pass. Stays alive for Newcastle as Gagai comes back against the grain. Finished off in a slow tackle by Patola. Milford just getting the kick away in time. Averillo again, up he goes. And comes down off who? Referee put the whistle to the mouth, but because Carraz has it, it's play on.
It was hard to see where the ball actually, who made contact with it. Averillo looked short on his jump. Just couldn't get his arms outstretched far enough in front of him to make a play at it, but the Dogs with it now. Ooh.
Look at Addo-Carr. He's run 55 metres for a gain of 5, but he kept it alive for Carraz. And now the offload again. Torpiner. What about that effort? All sparked by Addo-Carr with his team under the pump. And now they're flying up the ground again. Averillo. Dummy half run into enemy territory. And we're only midway through this tackle count. Burton always scheming.
Addo-Carr's not on his left wing here. He's pushed himself to centre field.
Stimson. And Patolo quickly contained. Yeah, Addo-Carr's just calling the shots. He's got a roaming licence today. Well, right now he has at least. There's Jackson. Not sure what he was thinking there on the last tackle down the short side.
No, Addo-Carr had come in field for a specific purpose, but Josh Jackson decided to take one. Oh, Dane Gagai's made the error.
And there was 30 seconds on the clock, so the Bulldogs so keen to pack their side of the scrum centre field and have a couple of cracks at it here.
Well, they'll blow time off in a minute if the Knights take their time. No concentration there from man passing the ball or Dane Gagai.
So the clock freezes with 13 seconds on it. Probably just time for one play to try and crack them from this centre field scrum. Addo-Carr is maintaining his width right on the left-hand touchline. And they go the other way for Flanagan. Averillo. Oh! Went past the horizontal. And that's a penalty. Crossland with a dangerous-looking tackle. And that makes the decision pretty easy. They'll take the 2. How do you see that one, Brandy? It's been a weekend when that kind of tackle has been at the forefront.
Well, it was a driving tackle, and the fact that he got him past the horizontal and came down with him means that the penalty's sufficient, though. That wouldn't be an incident that would be graded by the match review committee. Penalty, I would think, sufficient. If they're thinking anything, it'd be a fine only.
Teammate got involved at the death, maybe to save him a little bit there.
Yeah, but you're still going to be on side.
Second man in the tackle. So Burton not wasting too much time with this one. Adds 2 more points. The Bulldogs on a roll right now, and they lead at half-time in Newcastle by 18 points to 4. So the pressure on the likes of Tex Hoy filling big boots. No Kalen Ponga perhaps for the rest of the season with his concussion issues. And the fullback ignite them today before he heads off to Hull in the Super League at season's end.
Well, they haven't had many opportunities down the attacking end of the field, but they're able to come up with a try on one of those few occasions. So better field position is the key for Newcastle.
Stay behind.
So Clifford gets the second half underway. And here's Patolo to bring it back for the Dogs. Looking to make it 4 wins out of 6 and end the winning run the Knights have had against them after taking the last 3 contests head-to-head. Newcastle. Here's Stimson. Another that they got out of the Melbourne Storm system in advance of Addo-Carr. Jackson, third man in to take him down, was Crossland. He gave away that penalty that Burton knocked over 2 points after the half-time siren. Brilliant kick by Burton to make Hoy turn around again. And set up Tuala for Burns to whack him.
See, that was a risky pass there from Tex Hoy. Burns up very quickly. Tuala only just gathering the ball in before he was hit by the defender.
Oh! Young with the hair flapping around as Stimson chopped him in half. Good run by Brayley. Give the Knights some momentum at the back end of this set. No way past Stimson with the Crossland footwork. Avarillo with a safe take of the conventional kick from Clifford. And they start with a little set-for-set action. Carr, who evaded so many tackles in that first half, they clung onto him that time. And Shop, who's so impressed in that first 40 again. A youngster who's catching the eye week in, week out, Brandon.
Well, he is. Powerful young man. We saw him very early in the piece throw Dane Gagai over the sideline. And he loves that physical contact.
Chance for Burton to put up a tester, perhaps. Room for the kick. And Young says, I'll have this one. Shielded it well from Addo Carr as we check in with Jake for his halftime report.
Knights coach Adam O'Brien just wanted his side to fix their first contact in defence. They missed 22 tackles in the first half, while the Dogs also managed 11 offloads. So he wants them to hit and stick, shut that second phase play down. While for Dogs coach Mick Potter, he was happy with his side's energy, just wants them to keep kicking into corners, and he expects the Knights to chance their arm a bit more in this second half to get back into the game. So he wants them to keep their defence tight.
No risks taken on this set just yet by Newcastle. And Milford, who is being encouraged to chance his arm by Cooper Cronk pre-game as well. Playing his last handful of games for Newcastle before joining the Dolphins. He's put it right on the chest of Avarillo, who brings it back to the 40-metre line before there's a chance of getting touched by Saulo in company with Crossland and Frizzell.
They struggled to make metres in that set, Newcastle, and look where they are, the Dogs, after play one. Shop rebounding off a couple of defenders, but back into Knights territory already.
Working hard. Got rid of Clifford, but Sasangi stuck to the task. Stimson, great worker in the middle of the field for the Dogs. Avarillo, oh, he tried the flick pass again. Carraz good enough to pick it up on the half volley. It was touched by the Knights, so it's a fresh set. They still push the passes. And Flanagan eventually accepts the tackle, 20 out. Marshall King, almost. Important legs tackle by Crossland. Flanagan for Burton. A couple of Bulldogs runners going through the line. Not what they were after on that play. Still tackles up their sleeve. Catch and pass, delightful. And Carraz, hat-trick! I think he got there. Airborne, hovering above the try line and putting it down one-handed to complete a hat-trick to savour for the 20-year-old.
Gee, hasn't there been some spectacular football down this edge for the Bulldogs? Braden Burns and Jacob Carraz. Carraz possibly scoring his third. There's the flick pass, which we saw in the first half. It hit the ground, but Carraz still skillful enough to pick it up. Offload, and they keep the passing going and then come back the right to play later. Quick hands from Avarillo. Braden Burns out to Carraz. Oh, I think he's put his right knee down. I think his knees touched outside of the field of play before he got the ball down. Decided to just go for the corner.
No problem, Brandy. Optical illusion. Are you with me?
No, I'm still not convinced.
Oh, I've got it as a try. It's confirmed, Brandy.
Is it?
Yes. It remains hovered. He knew what he was doing all along. Try time.
Oh, yeah. Wow. That is good. That is good. Original live, I thought, gee, has that knee touched the outside of the field of play, but it didn't. So fantastic stuff. And the skill level from these two, Braden Burns and Jacob Carraz, haven't played many games together. Carraz knows what Burns is about, ready for anything, and that pickup off his toes to keep the play going, well, he doesn't score the try if he doesn't pull that off.
He has doubled his career try tally in the space of 46 minutes today. Jacob Carraz, from 3 tries to 6 in his career. Such an exciting player, some of the stuff that he can do, and he makes the ground a couple of metres wider with efforts like that. Burton better get used to sideline conversions with the footy they're playing, and it's no problem at all. Delightful strike, and the dominance continues.
Yeah, wasn't it a smooth swinging action there from Matt Burton? There's the first try for Carraz. A brilliant pass from Braden Burns. Josh Addo-Carr supplied the next one. Carraz still with plenty to do, takes the Addo-Carr kick, scores his second try. On fire down this right side. Then catch and pass, Burns again, just giving him enough space. The tackle should have been made. Clifford had a good shot at Carraz there. Almost, but gets it down before his knee touches the grass. It's quite a hat-trick.
And if you had a stopwatch on it, the ball would touch the grass about 0.02 of a second before the knee does.
You can understand what I was thinking live.
Not going to ask you to judge a photo finish at Randwick anytime soon, Breen. Marshall King. It's been oh so easy for the number 9 for the Dogs today. He's up over 100 metres run. At this stage of a game, I'd imagine that hasn't happened too often in the career of Jeremy Marshall King, but there's just been easy metres on offer and he's accepted them. Patolo with a strong run to set up the kick. And another set off the back of points executed by the Bulldogs. Addo-Carr playing for the block and the escort. Same referee as the West Tigers v Cowboys game last week, and he's not falling for the old wingers trick a la Kyle Felt last week.
Ashley Klein's not in the box though.
Watch Addo-Carr just run into the...
He didn't have his eyes on the ball there. He had his eyes on the Newcastle player. And just ran straight into the back of him. Newcastle get a much-needed penalty. 24-4 down. They need a lot to go their way now, Newcastle. But there's still plenty of time. 32 minutes on the clock.
Addo-Carr was still complaining to the touchy about not getting that decision on the escort, but it looked clearly like he was the one who ran into the Newcastle Knight, not the other way around. What can they do with this field position? The lights have been turned on at McDonald Jones. Don't forget it's the Dragons against the Cowboys next on our Sunday ticket. To complete the double header and the round on Fox League. Hoy, Sasangi set up Tuala for Newcastle's only try so far late in that first half. From side to side they go. Frizzell has been on the end of a couple of plays now in this set. Milford. Runners in motion and some deception in the way he found Saifidi. But no second phase off the back of the front rower. Milford. Catch and pass, and there's no Dog's hand in there. It's straight over the touchline from the MILF.
Was there any touch on any part of Milford there to make the pass go so astray? Just looked like it slipped out of his hands and missed everyone.
chop again.
Dynamic, isn't it? Shot. Just how he bounced off both feet there. Like 7 or 8 metres.
27th game today for the 21-year-old. He was on the fringes for a long time before getting his crack, and now a regular starter in that centre role. Jackson to play it on halfway on the last. Burton. Just going drop punt style, and oh, it was oh so easy it appeared for Young. Oh, he knocked that on for sure, didn't he? They can't believe that call. The ref says knock back.
He knocked it on and then knocked it backwards on a second crack at it. Knock on there, and then knocked it back. Did he miss the first touch, the referee?
Well, sun might have been an issue for Young, but it wasn't the issue for the referee and his touchies, who cleared that one and give the team behind by 20 a big break. Milford on kicking duty from around that 40-metre line. A rare kick that doesn't find the chest of Averillo, but one bounce to Carraz. And is he done after the hat-trick? Pulling up lane here. And he might have to be replaced.
Is it cramp?
The young man hobbled and being checked on right now. Paul Vaughan about to come back on. And the Dogs wondering whether they need to give Carraz a chop out, putting the deep heat on those calves. Maybe it is cramp, but strange to see a winger go down with cramp at this stage of the game.
Yeah, it had to be cramp.
Like he was coming to the end of a marathon. So he's back in the play now. And Burton stepped around one as they committed to the kick. Stimson back to Burton. It remains the last. Hopeful pass towards Burns. And that's an important tackle to stop Tuala going the other way. Torpenay able to chop him down.
Yeah, a little bit of pressure there on Matt Burton. He cut back on the inside. It looked like he was able to keep it going well enough with the long ball out to Braden Burns, but just floated into no man's land. Let's see what Newcastle can do in reasonable field position to start this set.
Great tackle out of marker by Marshall King. Tex Hoy shows what he's got in the torpedo spiral department and made it tough for Averillo. I think they're getting some pickle juice out to Carraz right now. As Docker Clay enters the arena in the number 14 jumper. A little clunky again with Burton behind a couple of teammates when he received that pass. There's the go forward from the milestone man. On his way to celebrating game 200 in style, Paul Vaughan. There's Docker Clay's first involvement. Torpenay, dynamic ball runner. Oh, nearly away and out the other side. Just ankle tap by Barnett to slow him down enough.
That's too big.
Yeah, that's not really his go. His flick passing and catch and passing has been brilliant today, Braden Burns, but he might have to park the kick.
Gotta hold it, guys. Hold.
You can understand them coming down this right side too, Burns, but yeah, you're right, Speedy. He didn't think that he could do anything with the ball in terms of a pass or run, so decided to kick it.
Barnett off the long run. And now Hoy to Milford. Taking the line on and finished off by the debutant Edwards, and Paul Vaughan over the top. Set restart. for Newcastle. So is this their opportunity to try and get to double figures and launch a comeback in front of the home faithful? Clemmer, his second stint starts with an offload. And Hoy to play at 10 out. Milford, nice pass out in front of the Knights' number 6. Big cutout ball to Tawala. I think he wanted a kick from Clifford, but he nearly made it work anyway. That close to his second try of the afternoon. Clifford again, footwork, and upended by Torpenay to make it easy for Avarillo to complete the tackle. Milford. Adokar jamming in off the wing to snuff out Gagai's opportunity. Milford bouncing ball, tipped by a dog. Backwards to Flanagan, and their defence holds up there, but there's some tired dogs all of a sudden. Exhaustion for the likes of Stimson and Shop, and Karaz is still struggling.
Yeah, might be a good time for Matt Burton to kick prior to tackle 5. Get the ball out of there and try and get his team on the front foot as they battle their way out of their own end.
They have had 56% of possession throughout the game. In the last 10 minutes, the Knights have had the lion's share. We do get to the last for Burton to utilise that prodigious boot of his. And Young with a safe take this time. Great kick chase. And contact from Docker Clay, the freshman. Matty Croker ready to get out there, and the number 17 jumper for Newcastle. Under the ground now as Crossland gets a rest. Milford. And Shop has been all over the Gagai today. Avarillo, no pressure on the take as Croker was checked, trying to put pressure on the fullback.
Yeah, after watching that set from Newcastle, then the Knights look a bit tired themselves. Really not getting into any sort of formation through that set. No threat to the Dogs' defence.
Yeah, approaching the hour mark in this game. 58 minutes played, and that's a bonus penalty for the Bulldogs.
That's not what they wanted, Newcastle. A cheap penalty. Both teams looking a little exhausted. Into the grind, set for set, and then penalty midway through the set, just relieving all the pressure on the Dogs. It's been a tough year in the box for that man, Adam O'Brien, particularly here at McDonald Jones Stadium.
One win in the past 8 home games, and their defensive record worst in the comp, 27.7 points per game conceded, and already up to 24 today. Bulldogs have had a little lull, but off the back of the penalty, they try and ignite something here, and Shop again, just getting rid of would-be tacklers.
I think I agree with Corey Parker. If the Dogs go on to win this big, I think there could be carnage up here in Newcastle. I really do.
Burton through the dummy, and important that the tackler held on there. One-on-one stuff from Frizzell. Clunkiness lets the Knights off the hook.
Just onto the field, Max King. Never ask an interchange player who's just come onto the field too much. Just make it nice and easy for him. He couldn't have got it any easier. The pass was great for Marshall Kent.
Marshall King letting everyone know that it wasn't his mistake, the way that he gave his front rower a spray after that one. But in Newcastle, it is all changed this week with Peter Parr arriving on Tuesday. Adam O'Brien said that will help him no end.
Good man, Peter Parr. Very experienced. And a Newcastle boy.
Yeah.
Coming back home. He's been in Townsville now for 21, 22 years. Done a great job up there, but get him back here home.
And timing must be right for him to leave the Cowboys with the season that they're having. And they're up next on your Sunday ticket, taking on the Dragons. And opportunity knocks something. They might be able to put on the Panthers under pressure for the minor premiership now that Nathan Cleary is out for the rest of the regular season. Confirmation the Panthers have accepted the early guilty plea, and he'll cop that 5-game ban. Here's Milford. Clifford on the last. Avarillo coughs it up, offside position, Braden Burns, and Croker trying to inspire his team. He was the nearest chaser, but it was a relatively easy look for the fullback.
Yeah, it was, because no one else really wanted to contest it, even though it was there. The kick didn't go as deep as he wanted it. Avarillo had to come a long way forward to make a play.
Trailing by 20 with just under 20 minutes to go. Setting up for a play out on that right-hand side. Clemmer combines with his fellow starting front rower and Daniel Saifidi. Scored a double last time the Knights hosted the Dogs. Clemmer standing in the tackle and teasing them that he might execute a pass like that. Oh, that time it works. A bit of magic from Milford. Somehow getting the pass to his winger around Addo Carr, and Dom Young has a 4-pointer.
Well, they were charging off the line, Addo Carr and Aaron Schott. He batted that a metre forward. Like, they put enormous pressure on. I thought the ball must have touched Addo Carr's hand and deflected it forward, but I don't think he's got a touch on it at all. A low percentage play that they have pulled off Newcastle, and didn't they need a try? There is still a mountain of time. There's no touch from Addo Carr. Touch judge there, he's in a better position than anyone else at the ground. So if he thinks it's okay, he's the man that was right in line with it. Young scores the try. The Knights are back in it. Clifford needs to keep adding the twos if they're to get themselves within striking distance.
Yeah, that's a 5th try in his past 4 games, including that hat-trick against the Titans when both wingers just ran riot here. And question marks on both Newcastle tries, but boy, do they need them. As Clifford strikes it absolutely perfectly, and they do go up in 6 points this time, 24 points to 10.
Yeah, Josh Addo Carr, he took 2 intercepts last week like that against the Titans, just rushing out the line. Misses his chance there, and it finds Dom Young, who was a late inclusion in this game. He had a broken rib issue that he missed last week's loss to the Roosters. Comes back in, gets a try, and that'll please the 19,813 Newcastle Knights fans here that have been starved of good performances from their side this year and today. They're hoping that that spurs their side into a bit of a run in this last 17 minutes.
Yeah, great turnout. They love turning up on a Sunday afternoon to watch their Knights go around. 7th place finishes the last 2 years, but finals hopes extinguished a long time ago in 2022. Clemmer off the long run. And here comes Barnett off the back of it. Saifidi now. Newcastle off the back of points, making their way up towards halfway through Frizzell. Clemmer, little double pump to utilise Clifford. And Brayley to Milford down a short side. Little kick over the top, turning Avarillo around and following through and clattering into the fullback who knocked it on.
Oh, gee, that was a great kick there from Anthony Milford down the short side. Tough place for Avarillo to catch it, turn and bring it back into the field of play, and was, well, the man that kicked it chased the hardest, and a big collision there, forcing the error.
Does the bunker weigh in at all? Is there head contact there by Milford?
I don't think there was, Speedy. I thought he hit him just under in the ribs where the ball was carried.
Nice, we got a captain's challenge. The on-field ruling is a knock-on.
The Bulldogs are asking for a captain's challenge here.
Well, did he lose the ball? That's the question. I didn't see it come free. His hand's still on the ball. That's the only thing that the referee might have seen that we didn't see.
Jake Avarillo is falling to the ground. There is minimal contact from Anthony Milford. The challenge is unsuccessful.
Well, there was no head contact.
Gotta go on.
No head contact, but he's got to leave for an HIA.
Well, am I seeing different pictures to other people? Was there head contact? Was there head contact? I didn't think so. I thought he hit him in the shoulder and under the ball.
And Avarillo was gesturing to his teammates that he was hit just under the chin. With that swinging, dangling arm from Milford, more than a swinging arm.
So low to the ground, okay? So it's going to be your play the ball there, tackle one.
But he didn't lose the ball. You were right.
I didn't think he lost the ball.
Confusion reigns.
Can you explain what just went on down there?
I thought I heard unsuccessful.
Yes. Anyway, I think whatever they came up with is the right decision. No lost ball, no head contact, play on.
And work your way out of the corner if you can. Carraz looking for hard meters. Jackson, warrior down the years for the Bulldogs. He came to the Newcastle Knights, said, do you fancy me as a prospect? And they said, you're not quite going to cut it as a first grader. Sent him packing a long time ago, and here he is. Veteran of more than 200 games. Look at this kick. Burton, and it takes the breath away. A collective gasp around McDonald Jones Stadium. It is just perfection the way he strikes that footy.
70-metre kick, 65-metre kick. Yeah, it was beautifully struck from Burt.
It's like a missile has been launched. They're all talking to their friends still about that kick. The buzz, the hum around this joint. Never seen a kicker like it. And of course, Andrew Johns used to strut his stuff and had all kinds of kick in his arsenal, but even he would salivate at what Burton could do. Clifford finds Milford. Trying to put a move on King. Bananas is out towards Adokar, who took it safely under pressure from Gagai.
Well, the momentum has swung towards the Knights. They've been forcing the Dogs now to get it out of their own end, who are battling, and they've come up with an error as well. Newcastle certainly needed that. 24-10. Get the starter set inside the 30. Golden opportunity here for Newcastle. Just fumble of the ball from Aaron Schopp as he was getting up to play it.
A rare mistake from the Bulldogs number 3. Again, centre field for Newcastle.
There's no doubt things have swung Newcastle's way in the last 7 or 8 minutes.
Still need at least 3 tries to get back into this conversation. Newcastle, Brayley took it off the back of the scrum, and safety first approach first up. And now shifted on by Croker to Saifidi. Hoy has gone right side. Brayley comes left for Clifford. Oh, another pass. Hits the deck, kept in by Tuala, and the desperation from Karaz to get there. Did he knock it on?
Ooh, bit of confusion here. Not sure.
They're going to challenge this offside ruling, Newcastle.
They have a captain's challenge. The on-field ruling is that it's stripped by the Knights.
Well, the pass from Clifford found no one and almost found the touchline. Tuala's done a great job to keep it in the field of play just.
Ball is knocked backwards by Anari Tuala.
I thought the Dogs just dropped. I thought there was a little knock on from one of the Bulldogs players as he fell on it.
Yeah, Karaz. He definitely doesn't tidy it up cleanly here.
The ball is then knocked on by Jacob Karaz.
So
the challenge is successful.
Yeah, Newcastle retain possession.
Successful, guys.
They get away with a poor pass. Clifford's pass not hitting anyone. Fresh air. Then Karaz just fumbled it as he dove on the ball to try and have possession change.
Kyle, you need to stay outside.
Okay, reset and see if Newcastle can do better than what they did last set.
Stay there, boys.
Still that 14-point deficit.
Yeah, if they've got a trick play, they should pull it out right now.
Gagai, just one out stuff again off the back of a centre field scrum. Often teams will try and score on that first play, and you've got 6 defenders involved in the scrum. Now the Bulldogs looking to produce a defensive stand again. Saifidi to play it in front of that left-hand upright. Set restart for the slow play the ball. Hoy. Frizzell. There's no way through again. Solid tackle by the debutant. Edwards out there on the left edge defending. Croker putting his head down, testing out that line again. Brayley, again, very flat service for Saifidi. They've scored a couple of tries off questionable passes. That was nearly another one. Milford had to wait for it. And Hoy, it's slow motion stuff at the moment. That offload might work though. Croker, what a read, what a tackle, Marshall King. That's a try saver. Got to Croker at the instant he gathered. And now Milford, little left foot kick. Burton tidies up under his own uprights. Great positioning.
Well, it was a fairly sedate set from Newcastle until the offload from Tex Hoy, which saw Gagai and Croker almost get Newcastle the much needed try. Burton played it well to clean up the kick from Anthony Milford. Dogs still struggling now to get out of their own end.
And Croker paying the price, being treated on the far sideline. He'll depart. There's King up over the 30. Burton, pressure on the kick, and he went to Docker Clay, who wasn't anticipating it, and coughs it up there. Dominating field position, Newcastle, but can they turn this into points?
Yeah, they need to. the set, and Burton's pass, a tough one for Dr. Clay to take. So good pressure from Newcastle, and not for the first time to put pressure on Matt Burton and change his decision on whether he kicks or not. But this field position and possession that they've had, Newcastle, now penalty, they need to turn it into points. Otherwise it's worth it.
Raiders in front and the mark's in.
Nothing annoys the fans more than when their team tries to take a quick tap and it's called back for something pretty pedantic.
Yeah, too many hit-ups from Newcastle. Too many just dead plays. Unless you're going to offload the ball, question the defence.
Clifford for Barnett. And Hoy will shift back to the open side now, after not being used on the left. Milford finds him here on the right, and Adokar knocked it back for 6 more. Complaints about a little knock on by Hoy when he tidied up, but not spotted if there was one. So much second guessing seemingly on a lot of these passes by Newcastle. The fluency not quite there. And Crossland goes one out. Again, set restart.
Braden Burns called offside.
Barnett stopped by Burns in company with Flanagan. And now Hoy. Frizzell, trademark. Change of angle by the veteran. Second phase for Hoy. Taken down one-on-one by Edwards. Marshall King from marker. Outstanding. He was the only marker there. Hoy, where are the runners? Milford eventually said, well, I'll put my hand up to offer him an option. Receives now to Milford. Kick could have been awkward, but sat up kindly for Burns.
Showed great skill to pull that one into Braden Burns, which he's shown for most of the afternoon. But again, a set from Newcastle. You wouldn't think that they were desperate to get points to claw back a 14-point deficit. A lot of passing across the field, just looking for someone to break a tackle, but it wasn't happening.
Slow play the ball here for Shop. And King, offload out the back for Marshall King. And Docker Clay holds on this time. And we'll play it on the last. Burton, plenty of time to wind up and send it down to Tuala this time. Our man on the sideline, Jake Duke, has his new show underway on Monday nights. Who's your guest tomorrow, Jakey?
Yeah, Dylan Brown, the Eels superstar, has been playing terrific football for Parramatta. Led them to that victory over the Panthers the other night. We go bowling, actually, and we talk about his hopes for Parramatta's end of the season, his hopes for the Kiwis, and plenty more about his life. So tune in 7:30 p.m. on Fox League after NRL 360.
10 pin or lawn bowls?
10 pin, and he got the better of me.
See if someone can have the perfect game tomorrow night, Monday night. Jake Duke with Dylan Brown, who was outstanding in the win over the Panthers the other night. Clifford. Frizzell is getting there. Adokar coughs it up, and that's another offside Bulldog, but they've got a handy lead and they can give up penalties like that.
Well, they both got themselves in a position to take the ball, Shop and Adokar. Kick from Clifford as Shop makes his way in field. Frizzell has come up with a leg injury, Josh Adokar.
Remember, he had a worry about his glutes the other week, and I reckon he's just come down that awkward kind of fall, around the coccyx region. And a bit of bruising there, and he's happy to take some time and get the wind back into him. Dragons against the Cowboys up next, Brandy. What are you thinking ahead of this game?
Well, the Cowboys at home, and Tigers pushed them all the way last week. It's a big game for both clubs. Cowboys have a chance to cement that second spot on their own and get a couple of points closer to the Panthers. Well, the Dragons just are desperate for the 2 points, Speedy. Sitting on 20. Need to stay in touch with the top 8.
That game at Cogra. Up next on your Sunday ticket on Fox League. Addo-Carr hearing the boos after cynically slowing the play down, according to these Knights fans. Milford. Organisation is there for this Bulldogs defence. Proving really tough to crack. Marshall King slowing Milford down. And now Crossland for Saifidi. And Jacob will play it. Offside again here, Braden Burns. No set restart this time as he jumped the gun by a couple of metres. Has to get up quick again. Oh, Carraz! 3 tries already. How are those legs? They're coming across in cover in good numbers, the Knights. And there'll be no 4th try yet for Jacob.
Well, they had the advantage, Newcastle. They just couldn't find the man that was in space. Carraz getting himself in between. A kick from Burton.
He's toying with the ball. Addo-Carr wanted it. Teammate got in the road and really fluffed his lines. Burton put it on the dime again.
Well, he did. Carraz gets them out of trouble with the interceptor. Now they give up the penalty, and Addo-Carr and Aaron Shop collide. Texoy coming across, but would not have got there if Addo-Carr or Shop takes it cleanly. Unfortunate there because he locked it. The kick was on the spot from Burton. It was there to be caught.
Oh dear. Aaron all over the shot. Costing Addo-Carr a 4-pointer. And what about the replay on Fox League just then, seeing the Bulldogs fans in the background starting to rise to their feet, and then it became hands-on head stuff. Crossland for Clifford. And there's a lot of this, isn't it? The back rower just changing the angle, and the Bulldogs are ready and waiting for it. Milford. Frizzell uses a decoy that time, and Hoy taken down one-on-one by Shot. Crossland. And Saifidi. Again, it looked a little clunky. Burton's kicking game has been on fire at the other end. What kind of kick can they get away, the Knights? Instead, it's a forward pass for Barnett, and then he held on when Clifford was looming.
Again, the Dogs survived. Now, in terms of where the game's being played in the second half, and we've said Knights have changed the momentum. They've got all the field position. They've had 36 tackles inside the 20 in the second half. 36 tackles inside the 20-metre zone of the Dogs. They just haven't been able to cross the line. Haven't scored enough tries. Only come up with 1 try in the second half. The Bulldogs have only played the ball 3 times down the other end of the field in the second half. Complete domination by the Knights in terms of field position in this second 40 minutes.
And throughout the season, the Knights themselves have conceded a try every 7 tackles they've made inside their own red zone.
Last one, release.
Avarillo passed his HIA back out there, as you saw. Further confirmation of what Brandy suspected when he was tackled by Milford. Confidence from Tuala to take that and link with Young, who got rid of the Fox, and he's got a man on the outside in Gagai, and the Fox comes again.
Well, if nothing else, they've moved the Dogs' defence around. What can they do against that now? Tuala carries the ball just over halfway.
And the short ball to Barnett was the option. Overlap was being created for Sasangi on the outside, potentially. Hoy. Gagai. It's a little awkward for Shop, but he helped make the tackle with Burton. Crossland fires it out to Sasangi. He's looked dangerous
He's
with
looked
ball in
sharp.
hand.
He has looked sharp when he's had the ball. Not much of it.
Short side for Clifford and Barnett. I'm not sure he had the eyes on the footy at all, Mitch Barnett.
Well, there's not much to be said for the Knights' attack. The amount of possession they've had at this end of the field really haven't looked like scoring. It was from sideline to sideline. I know there's a couple of plays injured, in particular Ponga, but it's still been pretty ordinary display with the football from them this afternoon.
A team that started the season 2-0 and then lost 7 in a row. Again, the offloads just working so beautifully for the Bulldogs. They've had more than anyone else in the comp over the past month. And they were creating that second phase footy from the outset today. And they're 2-1 in the offloads category, 16-8 in their favour. And they're winners again. The upswing under Mick Potter continues for these entertaining Bulldogs who did most of the damage in the first half when Addo, Carr and Burton were on fire. Carraz finishes with a hat-trick as the Bulldogs win it, 24 points to 10.